Good morning, everyone. I hope that you're having a great day so far. I would like first to start by thanking Forbes Middle East, Khulud Al-Umyan, and her whole team for creating such a fantastic platform for us to listen to each other, to listen to real stories, and learn from each other. It's all about the journey, and I'm extremely honored to be moderating this session today with impactful women from the industry who have reached really high levels in multinational organizations, and also the colleague with us today who would be talking about his personal journey of establishing his own company and how he's using technology to support women. I would like to start first by asking the panelists to briefly introduce themselves in 1 minute, and then I will introduce myself further, and then we go directly to the session. Dr. Saeeda, please.
It's wonderful to be here today. Thank you very much for hosting us, to Khulud and to the entire Forbes family. Thank you. In a nutshell, because I was told to keep this under a minute, I am a mother to a beautiful 10-year-old. I am a sister, daughter, wife, on my personal note. Professionally speaking, I'm an engineer. I was trained as an engineer through and through. I spent about 17 years in consulting, started out in the US, came back to the region, came back to Dubai, came back to the Middle East, which is home. And for the last 2 years, I have had the privilege of being at Visa as the Senior Vice President, and I run the GCC for Visa. That's me.
Thank you. Thank you, Saeeda. Moon?
Thank you so much for having me.
Can you put the mic, please, nearer to your... Yes.
It's such an honor to be here with you all.
لا معلش, Moon, can you please put the mic nearer to your mouth so that we can all hear you?
Can you hear
Thank
me
you.
now? Perfect. It's such an honor to be here. My name is Moon. I had creator partnerships for Meta, covering Middle East, Africa, and Turkey. I am a mother of 3. I'm based out of Dubai. Previously, I was a management consultant. I used to travel all over the region, so got to work in different countries. I then moved to Webedia Arabia. I also worked at MBC, and I had the privilege as well to work as a freelance consulting in the region. I worked in Saudi with GCAM, the General Commission of Audiovisual Media, with Deezer on their market entry strategy in the Middle East, with View International, and I'm very, very happy and honored to be here.
Thank you, Moon.
Thank you for having me here. I'm very proud to be at such a beautiful event for Forbes Women. I'm Wesley Pabis. I have a background in architecture and product design. And we were in there making products to make women feel more comfortable in the workplace, that they can do in privacy, that they can do breastfeeding, breast pumping. And out of that, we started to look more in the digital side of product design. For 2 years, I have my company in augmented reality enhanced with AI technology. And I would like to tell you more about that in the journey that we have and which challenges we see in that market.
Thank you so much. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Hoda Mansour. I've been working in the field of information technology for 25 years now, almost 25 years. Please don't count. How does this translate to age? I worked for multinational software companies, including Oracle, Microsoft, and SAP. Recently appointed on the board of Commercial International Bank, which is the largest commercial bank in Africa, and heading the sustainability committee there. I lived and worked out of 3 different continents, which inspired me when it comes to diversity, innovation, and understanding how to use whatever you have at hand to come up with solutions to the region that you worked in. I was very honored to be part of the Forbes Middle East list of most influential women since 2018. Dr. Saeeda is also on the list, and you have not mentioned that, so I have to highlight that. And I was also honored to be the first managing director to be appointed in my country in the whole Middle East and Africa out of Egypt, after which I've seen other multinational software companies like IBM and Microsoft appointing also women in that space. When I was appointed, they were looking at me that I'm going to fail. Yeah, and I proved everyone wrong. And in this panel, I would like to hear from the panelists how they prove people wrong. And I would like to start with Dr. Saeeda and ask you about your personal journey, what you would like to share with the team here. Maybe I would like to share that Dr. Saeeda is an Emirati. She's an MIT graduate. She's very humble not to mention that. She lived in the US for almost 15 years, if I'm not getting that wrong. How did you change the narrative about Middle Eastern women, who have been coming from this region and deserve the place to be very high up in multinational companies such as Visa?
Look, at the end of the day, there's a person, but then there's an ecosystem around that person. And nobody can change, live, exist in isolation. We are all product of what comes around us. And if I just think of me, and if I think of my journey, it was not about doing something about changing the bigger narrative. It was about genuinely doing something that I was passionate about. I have loved sciences from when I was a kid. And I was very blessed to be in an environment where that was encouraged very, very early on. And it was, when I would go home with a 99 on an exam, it wasn't well done. It was, what happened to that 1%? And I'm sure many of us can identify with that. And that actually, again, for me, for my personality, that worked really well. That constant strive for doing better, and never a difference between me or three of my brothers that I grew up with. So a lot of it was just around the way I was raised, and all credit to my parents for that. And I just was lucky enough to find my passion in numbers, my passion in science, and then life just followed from there. So when I graduated from high school, I went on to do an engineering degree, and I loved it. It was just something that was incredible. I loved it so much, I wanted to do another engineering degree. I loved that so much, I wanted to do another engineering degree. And I did. I studied for 9 years to be an engineer. And after that, I thought about what would I like to do next. And I was, again, very lucky and very blessed to be in an environment where some of the world's most inspiring organizations would come in and recruit. So through multiple conversations, through multiple discussions, I had the exposure to speak to a lot of people and said, I actually really enjoy consulting. And what we were just talking about, we said, let's try it and then we'll see. And again, you love what you do, you keep doing it. 17 years later, realize, okay, this is wonderful, but there's something equally wonderful on the other side with Visa. And it's just a journey of following my passion and being lucky and blessed and being in the right environment.
Look, Dr. Saeeda, I heard lucky, but I can tell you it's not only luck. It's all about hard work. It doesn't come just by luck. I'm pretty sure that you've put the effort, you've gone beyond what is the norm, to reach where you are. And I would like to ask Moon to give us a little bit of perspective about your journey. When you were talking to me yesterday during dinner about your journey, I got really inspired about taking tough decisions, about what's important and what's priority for you as a person and for your family. If you can please shed some light to this one.
Yes, of course. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. Look, I just want to say something. As women, we're always building. You're building communities, you're building businesses, you're building your family. You're basically laying the grounds for the future generation of change makers, of female leaders, of male leaders. And this definitely comes with challenges. It comes I'm not going to go now into the challenges of, the glass ceiling, unconscious bias, society pressure sometimes. But these are challenges that you face and that makes you take tough decisions sometimes. Instead of prioritizing, what you need as a person right now, what your family needs, instead of prioritizing that, sometimes it becomes very tough decisions. And for me, moving away from corporate, back then I had 2 kids and 1 on the way, And I chose the decision to make it on my own. And a lot of people told me it's going to be tough, and it was tough. But it's about finding the balance. And I go back to what Dr. Saeeda said. There is luck, but there is hard work, and there is your reputation that lives on in the market. And just like that, as a freelance consultant, I never stayed one day without work. And projects just came, and I was able to cherry pick what I wanted, and most importantly, to control the part of my life, which is my personal life, and being there for my kids, and being more present while they were young. So it was, I believe, every shift between either, any type of work is a tough decision to take. But sometimes you have to prioritize what you need during that time, and it might not be the same thing the next time around.
Fantastic, very inspiring. Wesley, I would like to go back to you and talk about your decision to establish your company and focus on AI, augmented reality, and working now out of Bali and rethinking coming to Saudi Arabia and all of these things. It's all about decisions, right? But what really inspired you to focus on what you're doing, and what really inspired you to talk about women? Because you said that it has been changing now, the narrative. Over to you, please.
Yes, so there's a lot of questions within that. But I will start what made me change to shift into, because I'm coming from a construction engineering background, and to change into tech. It really, like, the world is keep on changing, and if we look 3 years back, nobody could expect what AI would have been of an impact or in our daily lives already. And it makes our lives easier, but we have to do that in a good way. And you see that for women, there's so much more possibilities within the whole tech space now, because where originally, like, mostly men were engineers back in the days, you see that now emotional intelligence, creativity, those things are more important when it comes to AI and a creator economy. And there you see that, like, women are thriving in what they are doing. So that was for us very interesting to build a company also with, like, 50% of our engineers that are women.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Because in this industry, actually, the percentage of women in STEM is far lower than this. It's around 30%. So building it very consciously, thinking of 50% is something to be applauded for.
Also a reason why we want to come to Saudi Arabia, because when you see all over the world, like, the changes that Saudi Arabia is making in terms of, like, with the universities. I was at Leap speaking with the universities of Apple and KAUST, where the women there, they are really the ones that, like, are above the rest. They are having better results as an MIT. I was at ITRA Aramco, where they had challenges, and most of the finalists, they were all women, and that's like an example for the whole world, like how quickly change can happen. And like, I think there will be so much more improvement within the region, and like the whole world can take an example of, like, how you can push yourself within a new technology, and like how you can make change happen very quickly.
In my current role, actually, I'm mandated to lead 75 countries. And when I look at the Middle East and Africa region, it is a region that is super young. So maybe just roughly in terms of statistics, 60% of the population would be more or less in the age of 30. And with that, with the challenges that are in the region, comes the real need for support. I would like to shed some light on what Visa is doing to support entrepreneurs. With your initiative, She's Next, and maybe have Moon also to complement that with what Meta is doing.
Sure. So, absolutely. In entrepreneurship is something that is very near and dear to Visa's heart. In 2020, about 3 years ago, we made a very public pledge, and we said that over the next 3 years, we wanted to bring 50 million SMEs, small businesses, into the financial fold. What does that mean, and why does it matter? Because we saw through the pandemic that businesses that had access to the financial economy, to the actual formal digital financial economy, did far better than businesses that don't. Add on top of that the ability to grow, the ability to scale. This is something critical. So we made this public pledge, and by the end of last year, we had already hit 40+ million businesses that we had brought into the financial fold.
This is amazing. And it's really touching not only the lives of the women who are working in that space, but also the communities around them.
Absolutely. So the way we do this is really threefold. We try, on one hand, to provide solutions to those businesses to be able to accept the payments, because it's not always easy. There's still a lot of friction in the system. So that's number one. How do we make it easier for those small businesses to be able to accept those payments? The second thing we do is education and awareness. An incredible amount of education and awareness through many of our programs, such as practical business skills, etc. And then the third way in which we do this is really by creating and driving the ecosystem. And I am so incredibly proud to say that this year we will continue to do something that we've been doing for the last few years, which is an initiative called She's Next. We're launching it today. So, and She's Next is a beautiful program. Over the last 3 years since it's been launched, there have been about 250 different businesses that have been a part of this. And what is it? Very simply put, it is a business that is operated and owned by women. We work with them, we invite them, we have a program, and the winners of the program get 3 things. They get 1 year of entrepreneurship coaching and mentoring. The second thing is they get a financial contribution. And the third thing they get is access to our network and our partners.
This is precious, yes. The connections actually is precious, and also having access to funds, because all the statistics confirms that women startups, or actually startups that are led with women, are more challenged than others in getting access to finance.
Yeah. Correct.
So Moon, is there something that you would like to shed some light on from what Meta is doing in that space, or if you have a similar program?
Thank you. Yes, of course. So at Meta, we definitely believe in technological empowerment. And the technological advancement and our platforms are there to give equal chance to people to be able to work on their passion. So it stresses on 3 factors: self-expression, flexibility, and financial independence. So anyone now can have access, to the tools that are available across our platform and turn their passion into a business. On top of that, we are very humbled at Meta to see, the accomplishments of all the women in the region. And we've launched 3 years ago a program called She Creates, where we showcase, the accomplishment of different women across the region. So I definitely encourage you to check it out. Every year we have a new set of women which we nurture, and we promote all of their achievements across our platform.
Thank you. Wesley, how is your technology or whatever services are being provided in your company providing a new avenue for women to find an opportunity?
We are in the augmented reality space, and we are providing a solution for the creator economy, so for artists and for brand designers to showcase their works in augmented reality. And within that, there's a platform where you can really grow as an artist into an international level, because through augmented reality you can showcase your art or your product to all around the world. If you're an artist here in Saudi Arabia and there's an art gallery in London who all of a sudden can see your work, or someone can see it in their personal space, so it's increasing the chance that people will buy your artwork or that they interact with it. So you can have like a much more personal experience and communication with your clients. So that is raising, like, that you can have like a much bigger audience and engagement with your clients. So the creator economy is something that is upcoming. We were speaking about that in the back, and Meta is also busy with that to integrate that in like, for instance, an Instagram. So those are really going to be interesting points where augmented reality is going to play a big role in. And we are providing that platform to make it easy for everyone to make their way into augmented reality.
Fantastic. Just conscious of the time, I would like to leave the audience with a meaningful 1 or 2 advices at max from each speaker. Advices that they, based on your own experience, that they should consider throughout their career. What would you say, Dr. Saeeda?
I would say 3 things. Find your passion. No, that's 1. 2, know your people. You can't do it alone. And 3, there is no substitute for hard work. You do that, you're good.
Thank you. So Moon?
I would say, I definitely agree with everything that you said. I would say embrace your unique strength. I believe that each one of us have something to offer. Don't underestimate your soft skills. Being empathetic, being approachable, being there, being trusted are very important. Definitely surround yourself with a network of mentors, of allies that will support you, that will push you forward. Don't be afraid to sometimes fail. Build your resilience and continue learning. Continue investing in your personal and professional development. And pay it forward. It's important, us as women, to pay it forward always and to foster this environment of inclusivity and diverse perspective.
Thank you. Fantastic. What about you?
And
also the advice to your fellow men, you know, colleagues from the industry, because this is what's really important and what counts as well.
This is my advice for everyone, and this is also my motto, is like, keep moving forward, because challenges are there to overcome, and you will find a lot of challenges along the way, but keep believing in yourself. It only makes you stronger, even if you feel like, always keep on moving forward and believing in what you are building. And like, if you are now a man or a woman, I hope that everybody is like thriving in what they are doing. And for me, there's no bias in gender or in ethnicity. Everybody have an equal chance to fulfill their dream. And now with the digital age that is there, there's more possibilities for everyone. We're heading into a time that new jobs are being created. The possibilities with AI, with AR, with the metaverse that are coming, they are endless, and you can literally like make your own future within that space. Because maybe there are some jobs that you can think of in your creativity that nobody has think of yet. Just believe in yourself and just go for it.
Thank you. If I may say something from my side, I would say invest in your own brand. It is extremely important that everyone does really what they believe is right, and don't get influenced or impacted by the noise, because sometimes as we go, there is so much noise around us, and sometimes people would be pushed to take a decision that they might not be comfortable with. Please, before you take such decision, reassess and make the decision that you believe is right, and stand up for your rights. Invest in your brand. There is an opportunity for everyone. There's so much of power in each one of us, but it all depends on the mental resilience. And mental resilience would be extremely important, because this is what would differentiate you in tough times. Whether you can have your head above the water, just going full stream while everyone is opposing you at some times, is what is important. Thank you so much, Forbes Middle East. Thank you so much, Khulud Al-Amyan. Thank you, Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, and it has been such a pleasure to moderate this panel. Thank you.